Hi everybody, it's Dr. Brown. We're going to talk about box modeling inside of Maya 2026. We're going to talk about vertices, faces, and edges. Those are the components that make up a polygonal object. And we're also going to go over the process of actually building something. So we're going to make like a table, so something really simple um, inside of Maya, just so you can kind of get an idea of how it's done. So the first thing I'm going to do is put down a cube. I'm going to make it bigger, raise it up a little bit. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and hold. Okay. And then you can see that we have edge, face, vertex. We have some other stuff, and we're going to get into UVs and vertex, face, and stuff as we go through the semester. But for right now, I switched to face. Okay, so right click, face. And you can see that it highlights those big flat areas, right? So if I select it, I can actually move the face, and it moves the object with it, or the object kind of bends to align with it. You can actually rotate the face, and you can scale the face. And then I have a totally different shape than the cube just by moving that face. So the other things we have edge. So edge is just going to be where two vertices connect. So vertex is up there, vertex is down there, and you can see the edges branching off from the vertex. This works the same way. You can rotate them. You can scale them. And of course, you can move them. Okay, so now I've made a couple of big problems here. I have impossible polygons. That's why they turn black. So they're like cutting through each other, and it's just not it's not a good shape. It's not going to render well. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to Control Z. Okay, and then let's go ahead and look at vertices. So if I right click, go to vertex, there are these little pink things. Okay, so if you select one, you can move it. However, if I try to scale it or rotate it, nothing happens, right? Because these are 2D objects. So if I go and shift click this one, now I have two selected by holding shift. Now I can scale it. Now I can rotate it. Okay, so not too bad. Now, next, we're going to look at the extrude tool. So the extrude tool is actually how you box model. So this allows you to pull out a section of the polygon. So it allows you to pull out a face or something. Okay, so let's right click, go to face, select it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to extrude. To extrude, what we're going to do is we're going to select the extrude tool, which is right here. I'm going to click on that. And then you can see it changes to this little tool that has scaling, it has arrows, and it also has, you know, the dual move areas. So, and then you see this thing over here. So this is world coordinates or face coordinates. Okay, so world coordinates are X, Z, Y. And if I go to face, it's Z, Y, X. Okay, but that allows you to extrude along that face's trajectory, etc. So what I'm just going to do is pull that arrow. Then I can switch to scale and actually scale that down. And then I can go and just hit Q to select off that extrude tool. And you can see I made a whole new piece here just from box modeling, just from extruding that out, which is pretty cool. So that's kind of the gist of box modeling is you're just going to pull pieces out to make an object. Like you can make a toaster, you can make a chair, you know, something simple. Don't, if this is your first time in Maya, your first time starting out, don't try to do anything crazy. Start with something simple so you get used to those polygon modeling tools. And I haven't even covered them all. I'm just covering some very basic ones right now to get you started. Okay, so let's go ahead and make a table. I'm going to delete this object because I don't like it. So I'm going to right click, go to object mode and delete. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and make a face or a cube, and we're going to make that into a table. Go ahead and scale it. There we go. Okay. Now we have a problem in that we don't have 4 faces to extrude from, which is going to make this overly difficult. We would need to cut faces in and stuff like that, which I don't want you to necessarily do quite yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to tell this object that it actually has more subdivisions. So we're going to go over here where it has subdivisions, height, depth, and width. I'm going to go ahead and go to width and hit 2, and that puts it straight across. And then if I go to height and put 2, oh, that's in there, so I don't want that. So I should go to depth and put 2. There we go. So now you can see that I actually have 4 faces. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and right click and go to face. All right, so once we're in face mode, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hold shift and select all of these faces. Then I'm going to go to extrude. And it brings up the tools here. So what I want to do is I want to change keep faces together to off, and I'm going to give the thickness 1. Oh, that's too much. So 0.1. There we go. And that way I have 4 faces. So now what I can do is I can select this face and this face. Slide it over to where I want it. This is going to be at the edge. Whoops. Same with this one. And if you're having a hard time seeing because you're in the perspective view or whatever, you can tap the spacebar, and that'll show you all 4 views. And then whichever one you want to maximize, you just click in and tap the spacebar. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and scale these to make them into squares. There we go. And there we go. Okay, do the same over here. So select them both. Switch to scale. Scale them down. There we go. Oops. Okay. Now I can select it and move it. So I'll select both of them, move them to the edge. Okay. And then I'll move these to the corners. Okay. Pretty simple, pretty simple. And I bet you can all guess what's coming next. I'm trying to make that straightish. There we go. Okay. So once I have that done, the only thing I have left to do is extrude those legs. So I'm going to hold shift and select all 4 and then simply extrude them. And then I want to scale them so they're not so big. There we go. Then what I can do is I can go ahead and right click, go to object mode, and then switch and flip this guy 180 degrees. I'll just go over here to rotate Z 180. And there you go. We have a very, very simple table. So that's it. That's a basic introduction to box modeling inside of Maya 2026. Again, start simple. Don't try to go crazy. Don't try to box model a car for your first thing. Try to box model something simple like a chair or a display stand, something like that. Something that's very boxy and very easy to just kind of work with the tools to make. So you don't have to do a lot of cuts and stuff like that. We're going to work on cutting polygons next week so we can actually add more details and stuff like that. So those videos will be coming next week. All right, that's it.